That's right, goblins. Here she is, the little 125 Ninja that could is finally back on the channel. And I'm not lying here when I say she broke me. I mean, trying to figure out what was wrong with her. I took off the fuel tank. I had basically all the fairing off the bike. The O2 sensor I had out. The fuel injector I had out. Yeah, man, I had this bike's fairing basically in my garage for the best part of about 3 months, I think it was. And it turns out there was actually nothing wrong with the bike whatsoever. Alright, so let's take her out and let me show you what I mean here. But for those of you that don't know, on the dashboard here of a Ninja 125, there's this little light here, this little orange one. So the ABS one is there. But the one above that, that's the DFI light, I believe, the direct fuel injection light. And basically, that was showing on this bike all the time. It popped up during a video shoot. Gosh, it's got to be about 5 months ago now. Maybe not, I don't know, 4 or 5 months ago. It just showed up, and yeah, it would not go away no matter what I did. And there you go. So the light is gone. That's what it should look like. As soon as the engine starts, that light should turn off. And well, I mean, I went through all of the usual stuff. I tried to do a little diagnostics check where you get the light to flash on the dashboard. And well, it showed me 2 different errors. One was to do with the O2 sensor, and the other was to do with the fuel injector. So I mean, based off that information, I went ahead and, well, removed the O2 sensor, gave it a clean. I also removed the fuel injector as well, which, as I mentioned earlier, means having to remove the fuel tank off the bike. But there was absolutely nothing wrong with those things whatsoever, and I knew there was nothing wrong with them because otherwise the bike would be running just really, really poorly. It would be running really lumpy, and if there was some kind of information that the ECU wasn't able to get hold of, then yeah, it would not be running as well as it did. And I will say that since the code has been cleared, she doesn't ride any differently. She rides exactly the same. There was nothing wrong with this bike whatsoever. But yeah, I mean, what ended up happening then in the end? So I took this bike down to Kawasaki, my local Kawasaki dealership, and I said to them, just flat out, is there any chance that you would be able to erase a code on the bike? Because the bike runs absolutely fine. There are no problems with the bike, but I can't get the code to go away. And then so, yeah, me and the wifey, we were there, waited about 10 minutes, the mechanic came out and said, that's it, it's done. They cleared the code. And I did ask them a question, well, what code was it? And he said there were no codes showing on the bike. Zero codes showing on the bike. So whatever I had done over those last few months, I had done something right, because the computer had cleared the code, or whatever codes they were, it cleared them. But for whatever reason, it did not go on the dashboard. The light stayed on the dashboard. And that absolutely just pissed me off, man. I got so annoyed because I'd spent so much time on this bike, riding it around, trying to get the code to clear, and I couldn't clear it myself. Now, for those of you that don't know, traditionally on Kawasaki motorcycles, fuel-injected Kawasaki motorcycles, once you fix the bike and the light is still on, the DFI light or whatever light it is still on, you got to ride it around for 10 minutes over, I think it's 20 miles an hour, turn the bike off, turn it back on again, ride it again for another 5-10 minutes, turn it off, and then you got to do the whole thing one more time. So 3 times you've got to ride the bike for over 10 minutes, or between 5 and 10 minutes at over 20 miles an hour, and you've got to turn it off and do the same thing again 3 times to clear codes. And I'd done that, Jesus, I don't know, about 7 or 8 times it's got to have been over the last few months, and for whatever reason that code stuck, at least on the dashboard anyway, because their code readers didn't find any codes whatsoever. They just went ahead and clicked erase all codes, even though there was none there, and the light is no longer on. Honestly, it was just a complete wind-up because I'd spent so much time trying to figure out what was wrong. And I even bought myself a Kawasaki kind of code reader, a cheap code reader off eBay, to be able to try and erase the code. And unfortunately, it was for 2021 models and up, and there's a 2020 model Kawasaki Ninja 125. So the diagnostic socket was a little bit, it's a different shape, a different pin layout to bikes that are 2021 and up. But I did try buying like an adapter, a 4-pin adapter, and that didn't work either, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, I tried doing the whole wiring thing as well after the fact. I tried rewiring that adapter to try and get it to turn up on the code reader. I mean, I didn't spend a lot of time on it. I think I spent about an hour on it earlier today, and I managed to get my code reader to turn on through the rewiring that I did on the adapter, but it still wasn't able to read the codes. So I'm gonna have to have another look at that at some point in the future. But it is something I would recommend getting, is a code reader if you own a Ninja 125 or you own any Kawasaki, or basically any fuel injected motorcycle from the past 20 years. I would recommend getting a code reader, just in case you get those stupid little codes that come up and you can't get rid of them whilst riding about, despite the fact that there's nothing wrong with the bike. So yeah, I would recommend doing that. But oh man, honestly, this bike has been the bane of my life for the past few months. And I mean, we've been riding around the bike for a good few days now, just riding her normally, and everything seems good. Everything seems alright. But yeah, if you do own a Kawasaki Ninja from the year 2020, just bear that in mind, that you might get a light come on the dashboard, and it might not mean anything at all. So just go to your local Kawasaki dealer and get it reset or get it erased. Now, the garage that I went to, they didn't charge me, but I know that some do, so that is something to keep in mind. Alright, otherwise, yeah, get yourself a code reader and plug it in to the diagnostics connector. Then you'll be able to erase the codes yourself. But yeah, I mean, this whole experience has been just totally mind-boggling. It couldn't figure it out at all. And I mean, probably the thing that you should all do if you're in the same situation as me is just go straight to the Kawasaki dealer, or at least a mechanic who's able to scan the codes on your bike, and just get them to tell you what those codes are. Then at least you can go away and then you can work on the bike, take the bike back and tell them to erase the code. Again, they might charge you for it, they might not, but it's worth finding out. It's worth finding out, or at least getting them to erase the code to begin with, just in case it is like a ghost code, is what he said. That's what the mechanic said whilst we were at the garage. He called it a ghost code. So that might be all that it is. Yeah, but when it comes to fuel injection on a 125cc motorcycle, there's only a couple of things it could be. It can only be the fuel injector, or it can only be the O2 sensor, because those two things transmit data to the ECU, which then the ECU knows how much fuel to deliver to the cylinder, you know, depending on the amount of air it thinks it's getting. And that's the key. It has to make sure that it's getting the right amount of air. So it could just be as simple as an O2 sensor. Now, I have read online that it's not recommended that you clean an O2 sensor. It's recommended that you get a new one. and just plug it in, and then Bob's your uncle. It should be good. But this motorcycle is, well, its third birthday actually has just come about. It's 3 years old, and it's got 1,403 miles on the clock. That's it. And I know that 125s are built to be cheap, but you wouldn't expect an O2 sensor to give out after 3 years and 1,400 miles. You know what I mean? So it didn't. I refused to get a new O2 sensor, and I mean that light came on basically. Well, it was about 6 months outside the warranty period, because the warranty period on these bikes are 2 years, and so it was out of warranty at that point. But there's still nothing wrong with you going to the Kawasaki dealer and just throwing it in their face, saying, look, you know, this is a brand new motorcycle, look at the mileage it's done, because the wifey doesn't ride very much. So it didn't make much sense that an error like that would happen to a motorcycle that's 3 years old and hasn't even got 1,500 miles on it. You know, it's just about breaking in at 1,500 miles. It's just stupid. But at that point, if they see the mileage, even if it's 2,000 miles, if they see the mileage, they might be like, right, okay, we'll take a look at it and we'll let you know. And they might do the work for you for free. All right. I mean, my father-in-law, my wife's dad, I mean, he rides BMWs, and there was an issue with one of the gearboxes. One of the big gearboxes on one of his bikes, and it was a job that was going to cost thousands, like 5-6 grand to get a new gearbox inside that bike. And this bike is from 2015, mind you, so again, it's not an old motorcycle. But they ended up meeting him halfway, I think. They paid for half the job, he paid for the other half. So, and you know, and this was a couple of years ago. I don't know how much mileage there was on the bike, but these brands, they will honor their word, all right? Because they believe in their products, so they stand by their products, all right? So if something goes wrong like that, don't be afraid to take your bike down to either the dealership that you bought it from, or just a Kawasaki dealer, or your motorcycle dealer, whatever brand it might be, and just tell them the situation, tell them what's going on, because it might just be an easy fix for them anyway, and they won't charge you for it. Yeah, 5 minutes, they erase the code, and that's it. Yeah, but that's the thing, guys. You know, I'm one of those people that is trying to learn the whole mechanics thing on these bikes. I'm trying to get to grips with it, so I was determined to figure out what was wrong with the bike myself. And even though I got 90% of the way there, I just didn't have the equipment to erase the code. But yeah, it is what it is, and I'm pretty sure that I think all motorcycles from 2021 onwards, I think, use a standardized OBD2 connector. So strictly speaking, any bike from 2021, you should be able to buy an OBD2 connector for it, and it'll even plug into your car diagnostic scanner, in theory. And you'll be able to erase codes and read codes. It probably won't be able to do everything that it would be able to do for a car, but you'll be able to read and erase codes, which is the main thing, you know. But yeah, it's been an adventure. But yeah, she's back, and if something goes on with the DFI light, if the DFI light comes on, rather, it's not something that you need to be worried about necessarily. If the bike starts running really bad, then yes, there's definitely something that you need to be concerned about there. But if that DFI light comes on and there's nothing wrong with the bike as you're riding it, it rides absolutely normal like it always did, then, you know, it could just be something like a ghost code and you don't have to worry about it. However, on the dashboard, if you get an oil light come on your dashboard, stop riding immediately. Stop riding immediately and check that you've got oil in the bike. Check you got oil in the bike, look at the little oil window on the right hand side of the motorcycle, have a look. If there is none in there, or very, very little in there, try and get yourself or try and walk to a mechanic, a local mechanic, try and walk somewhere local, or even like a supermarket that could have some oil for you. All right. Now, you are supposed to use motorcycle specific oil. However, in a pinch, this isn't recommended, but in a pinch, you can use 10W40 car oil, just as long as it is not like, what's the word? Like fuel efficient motor oil. Yeah, just get regular standard 10W40 part synthetic engine oil for a car, and that'll work. That'll be fine to get you home. And then after that, you can drain it and you can put proper motorcycle oil in it and a new filter, right? But if the oil light comes on, and on the Ninja 125, I can't remember, it's on this left-hand side of the dashboard, but if it does come on, stop immediately. Stop straight away, because that it will destroy your engine. All right, the DFI light isn't necessarily a big deal, you know, but the oil light is a massive deal. And on these 125s, that's basically all you get. That's those the only indicators you get there's something wrong with the bike, is the DFI light and the oil light. So just keep an eye on those, whatever you do. Yeah, this little 125, she's fine. There's nothing wrong with her whatsoever, despite the fact that the video where the light came on, I kind of like, you know, felt, oh shit, there's something seriously wrong with the bike. There wasn't really. It is something that you should get checked out, but it's not an immediate concern, and it will get you home. Yeah, an oil light coming on will not get you home, so don't even try. You will end up destroying the bike trying to get it home. But yeah, guys and gals, Ninja 125 is back on the channel. I'm so happy that we can start doing this beginner content again, because I've got some videos that I want to shoot on this Ninja 125, or beginner content, and I haven't been able to because I haven't had the right motorcycle. But yeah, I'm looking forward to shooting some more videos on this bike in the very near future. So as always, leave a like, get subscribed so you don't miss any more of our videos on the Ninja 125, and make sure to hit that notification bell just in case. And let me know what you think down in the comment section below. As always, guys and gals, and we will catch you all in the next video. Have a good one.